Welcome to part 4 of the video. You know that our fund believes in research. We continue to upload great videos on the YouTube. To me, it hardly bothers about the subscribers, the views, the counts, and all these things. Hardly bothers, let it be honest. I study a lot of books and magazines also. Like, and I should be thank you to Amazon for that, because Amazon is really helping me to have all the resources at one platform so that I can just go there and I can order them and it will come to my place. I need not to go to shops for that, and that thank you to Amazon for this. Nowadays I'm reading this book, and trust, I'm reading this book second time. I already have this book. You are surprising that when somebody holding this book, why he bought again. The first time I read the book 2 years ago, and when I read the book 2 years ago, I noted very important facts about 1MDB scandal. And after that, lot has changed in the 1MDB scandal. I ordered this book again. Though I know most of the story of 1MDB scandal, but still I am reading. You check this out. This is the important points which I am noting, rather this pad which I am maintaining. This is for the important points and everything which I am doing. And I would be reading this book thoroughly again and making this video. But you would be surprising that why I'm referring this book again in Zomato video. It has nothing to do with Zomato. Perfect. You're absolutely correct. It has nothing to do with the Zomato. But this book has absolutely to do with the loss making companies. And Zomato, by the way, is one of the loss making companies. This book is witnessed that officially not everything is correct. So I'll read one line for you. Because today I done with something in this book. I read one line for you. Goldman Sachs had made unfathomably large profits helping the fund to raise money, and ensuing scandal over the fate of the cash threatened to topple Malaysian Prime Minister. Tim Leisner of Goldman Sachs has pleaded guilty in United States to money laundering and bribing foreign officials. I'm not saying this. Book is saying this. And you can check on the Google also. So what I'm trying to convey here, we believe that things are very rosy. We trust on the annual reports. We trust on the audited reports. We trust on the credit rating agencies. We trust on statutory auditors. But are they really trustable? Are they really trustworthy? I don't think so. And I got yet another evidence. So this is from the annual report of Zomato. As of 31st March 2020, India Info Edge holding around 48.7% of the stake, while as of 31st March 2019, it intact, which means 48.70. Now, what does that signifies? When Zomato IPO came last year in July, our beloved paid, sold, and corrupt media created enormous hype. And the hype was at that level, it pushed Info Edge to 7,200. And I was like, what the hell is going on? what the hell it is going on that a company is 7,200. I was like this. Now, if you look today, in around 9 months' time, the same India Info Edge is at 4,300. Now, just think if Zomato becomes so powerful, so valuable, then why did India Info Edge falling? Did you thought about that? You didn't. Did the auditors here specify about the negative retained earnings? Did they specify about a huge flow of foreign institutional investors in Zomato? Did the valuation of Zomato is done not as per the private equity, which is post money equal to pre money plus amount invested, one of the most fraudulent formulas in the world of valuation, rather exact asset based valuation? Never. But what are we doing? We are simply trusting this annual report because it is audited by Deloitte, or probably last year it was audited by EY. But I challenge Deloitte and EY. I challenge Deloitte and EY, if they really think they deserve to be an auditor, then answer my questions. I love to challenge them. I again take the help of this book, although this is not the only book. When one MDB formed a sovereign wealth fund in Malaysia, it looked like everything is going as per planning, everything going as per paperwork, everything going as per the appropriate official records. But if you read this book, which I already did 2 years ago and now I'm reading this again, you would get to know that everything was at toss. Everything was at toss. Now I have no trust on any auditor report because I have seen infrastructure leasing and financial services. I have seen Diwan Housing. I have seen Yes Bank. I have seen PMC Bank. I have seen numerous scandals. And now I have seen Nokia, Zomato, Paytm, Policy Bazaar, where the total loss to investors is more than 1.4 lakh crores. But hardly anyone bothered to speak because no one will speak. But we did the video. So India Info Edge, who was holding near about 48.7% of the stake in Zomato, if that Zomato is so powerful, so much enterprise value, so much profitable, then why did India Info Edge himself falling? Ideally, it should be 10,000, probably 12,000, maybe 20,000. And why did Zomato falling? Why did Zomato cut it down from 141, which is their listing or the opening, to 78? Precisely 100%, you can say. See you in the part 5, which is more interesting. It's like a drug addict is teaching to another drug addict. See you in the part 5. Welcome to the part 5. Like I said, now I have made a policy. And that policy is whenever I get a stupendous information. Now by stupendous, I means that an extensive information, I take a printout of that. And this is the printout I have taken from the money control. And you can see that it's a 1 day old information, which means that we are talking on 13th March 2022. Now, which precisely means this is 1 day old information. So the information which I'm sharing is very, very latest. I have raised concern on Paytm and many such companies where business model do not support the profit. I also raised a concern on Tata's regarding their buyout of Air India. Probably soon I will have a video as well. Blinkit, alternatively Grofers. Do you know that the title Zomato may extend 75 to 100 million US dollars debt to rescue cash-strapped Blinkit. Cash-strapped. Food delivery platform Zomato may extend 75 to 100 million loan to rescue cash-strapped quick commerce. Now it's a new fancy word, quick commerce. Startup Blinkit. Person familiar with the development said, this lifeline comes at the time when startup has laid off employees, shuttered dark stores, and delayed some vendor payments amid intense competition in the quick commerce space. So what happened when a startup founded? Our beloved, paid, sold, and corrupt media simply hyped it. After 6 months, 8 months, probably 1 year, this startup will actually come to a reality. And what is the reality? Closure of the shops, stores, laying off the employees, and so on and so forth. Zomato had last invested 100 million in Blinkit. Now, where did this 100 million went? For a 10% stake at a valuation of $1 billion just before IPO. What the hell? What the hell? Can a cash-strapped company be valued $1 billion? Really, we have made a fun of things in India. And how come Zomato, who itself is a loss-making company that I substantiated from the annual reports of the Zomato, how come they are allowed to invest a 10%, basically 100 million for a 10% stake? So if 10% stake costing 100 million, it means Blinkit is valued $1 billion. A cash-strapped company who laid off the employees, closed the dark stores, delayed the vendor payments is valued $1 billion company. Did we sold ourselves look like? And what the fun is, Blinkit was supposed to raise 500 million from Zomato. That hasn't materialized. And now they are looking forward for 100 million. Probably Zomato may acquire Blinkit. Probably, I can guess. Do you know that Blinkit also in talks with a bunch of venture debt funds and recently signed a term sheet with Innovan Capital for a debt worth 10 million. How long this 10 million survive? What is the rate of debt? Not mentioned. Blinkit, which spent 600 crores between November and February, hardly 4 months, to expand business and acquire customers in a cash guzzling and deep discounting grocery delivery space, is now looking to cut the cost, cash burn, the people said. Now, what's the story I would like to convey here? The story is there is a complete gang which is working. And what the hell is gang? The gang is, this gang controls the valuation. Media is in sync. No one raised a single question. Regulator may be forced, like how did Competition Commission of India allowed a 10% stake in a loss-making company? So you know what a fun it is. The fun is that a drug addict or a 10th fail person is teaching another 10th fail person and expecting this time he would pass. So a 10th fail person is teaching another 10th fail person and expecting this time he pass. So Zomato, who himself is a loss-making company, funded $100 million to another loss-making company called Blinkit and expect Blinkit will survive. And regulator approved it. They not raised any question. Media not raised any question. Government agencies not raised any question. The most stupidity is people subscribed the IPO of Zomato and they got the approval. If I were the regulator in India, I would have rejected the IPO of Zomato. That how come a loss-making company fund another loss-making company? Who is funding that money? Did you ever thought about that? Did you got a chance to thought about that? That's a very important thing. But we are really not interested. No, when I collate this information, which is retained earnings, the PAT, the losses, the auditors like Deloitte, the 15 million fine which is imposed on Deloitte, the retained earnings, the India Info Edge, and now the Blinkit, I strongly feel that in 2018, there is a big game which was planned. And now this game is slowly shaping up. Slowly shaping up. With the help of regulator. Because after looking at these credentials, I don't think any sensible person can approve Zomato for IPO. A sensible person will not approve Zomato for IPO. That I'm sure, because after looking at these credentials. And when you file for IPO, which is called initial public offer, you share a lot of information with the regulator. It means this information is overlooked or this information is halfly provided. Or regulator took this information only as a formality, simply as a formality. Because just 6 pages of the information which I myself collated from the Google, the website of Zomato, it's certainly clear that they don't deserve IPO. That's a very interesting fact. And it hardly matters whether Zomato feel offended after watching this video. It hardly matters to me. See you in the concluding remarks.